All right, Kathy's, we had a really nice discussion teasing what we were going to do today. Obviously, by now, you may or may not know, we obviously announced our Ghost fundraise. And, I think what we wanted to do today, we have Josh on here, Josh Kaplan, our co-founder and fellow Kathy.
Yes, sir.
We wanted to really talk about a couple things. One, like explain to people what we actually do. I think that'll be helpful because I don't really talk about it. Talk about the fundraising process itself because I think that was quite fascinating. And then lastly, really talk about how I think there's a lot of opportunity to be building with or on top of Ghost today.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
I'd like to start with the question.
Okay.
So the initial response, and I'm sure we've seen it in a handful of group chats, when you see a headline number, Dee and Josh just raised $30 million.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks you're filthy rich.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of new phone calls I got. A lot of financial advisors.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. What we are not.
The vultures
Is
are out
filthy
there.
rich.
And that's both personally and the business. Because I think even more so, what's more egregious is the amount of people that are soliciting us to spend the money that we raised.
Yeah.
In terms of services and products.
Yeah.
Services, product, real estate, office space, things like that. Like everything you name it, people are saying, great, you raise this money, you have to spend it all immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Charlene, who runs our finance, is basically like, she like literally will call me out if I validated somebody.
Those validations
Like
are
parking.
expensive.
Yeah.
She'd be like, who's Joe that came by? Like,
I
is
used
he-
one last week.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I think the important thing, and this is probably a good segue to, this process is how important capital efficiency is now in today's environment. And so $30 million is not, okay, great, spend $30 million as fast as humanly possible to grow, which maybe there was a point in recent history where that was the case.
Mm-hmm.
Now what it is it's buying you runway to build a sustainable business. And so we do believe that there is artificial growth that has to happen, right? That we have to grow faster than what is natural in a business like this. But that's because we believe this is a winner take all market. And so we have to do that in a way that's still responsible, that's still efficient, that's still making smart choices and investments in the right areas that pay off way later. And so for us, we don't look at this as great, we've raised all of this money, now we can sit back and coast. It's the opposite.
Yep.
yeah.
I think a good starting point, because I don't know how many people listened to the podcast a year ago when you guys formally talked about Ghost. First of all, what is Ghost? Give like the 60-second elevator pitch.
Yeah.
And then second, what's changed a year from a year ago to today, where there's this like crazy interest and access to capital where people are like, run and go and solve this.
Yeah, I mean, someone, just to give you, I'll explain to what Ghost is, but after the headline, obviously new investors are hitting us up and we're not taking meetings generally right now, right? Like we raise the capital, we want to be heads down building our business. And we mentioned that to someone today. He probably doesn't listen to the podcast, definitely doesn't, because he doesn't live in America. This guy just showed up and he goes, usually everyone comes to me, I'm here. I want to know what the hell you guys are doing. And I think that is a testament that what we're building is obviously piqued a lot of people's interest. So what Ghost is a private B2B marketplace.
What does B2B mean?
Okay, that is the word B means business.
I'm saying there's people that won't know what
I
B2B is.
know. Okay, I'm giving you the fucking
Business to
Don't talk
business.
down to me. Yeah, B2B. What is B2B? I mean, come on. Okay, business to business. One business selling to another
So
business.
not consumer facing.
We are not consumer facing.
the
You
point.
as the consumer should never come to our site. Don't ask me what we have on platform. And yes, we have everything you could ever imagine. We have it.
And
So
people
I can't
ask
get
every
a
day.
discount on like old Kobe's from you.
Do not ask me. It's a business.
But
If
people
you have a
do ask.
business, you got an LLC.
I do.
So I think important. I'll take a quick step back between you two. Dee and I, as group chat listeners know, ran fashion brands for a number of years. One of the biggest challenges that we had was inventory management, our demand planning, being able to understand the full scope of our customer demand and meet it. We were not alone. Every retail brand on the planet faces this issue, and it's probably the largest issue that they face on a daily basis, the one that's most ignored. And the reason why is because there's an enormous amount of complexity in the supply chain, and it takes a very long time to make physical goods. And so you're predicting a year, 2 years out what you believe your consumer demand is. And what ultimately ends up is, more often than not, you're left with surplus inventory. Ghost solves that problem because we have built a marketplace, a B2B, business-to-business marketplace, where owners of inventory can list their goods, and then buyers on the other side can browse those goods, make their offers, and inevitably purchase them. And what's really special about our marketplace is that it's built through a data-driven platform. So on the selling side, sellers have very limited understanding of what the demand is out there for their products in the business world, right? Wholesale relationships. And they need to find new distribution globally. On the buying side, buyers have very little transparency on what these products are worth in the open market, and they have very little understanding of what other buyers are paying for these products. We've solved that problem, and that's how Ghost has been able to grow at the rate that we have.
And one of the key distinctions to, there are people that have done things kind of adjacent to us. A key element to our business is that we are a private marketplace. So we work with some of the biggest, best brands on earth and some of the biggest retailers on earth. Nobody knows who our suppliers are. It's very, very discreet in the way we operate. So so to explain it, a seller on Ghost is a brand, a retailer, a manufacturer, a distributor, a wholesaler, a bankruptcy. Supply comes from all of these places. And so what we've done is aggregated like the best supply across apparel, footwear, beauty, and home goods.
Anything you'd find in a department store.
Yeah, just to break it down a little more simplistic for people that aren't in this industry. So obviously we've been in apparel, so we've faced this for 20 years. So even at the peak of Young and Reckless, when we were the hottest brand in streetwear, you order $5 million worth of goods in a quarter. You could be the hottest brand.
Yeah.
You're still going to have goods that weren't sold.
Yes.
And this is what solves this problem.
Yeah.
Where do those goods that aren't sold go?
And so right now, there's a number of options. Put Ghost aside. You can sell it directly to TJ Maxx, Burlington, or Ross. Those are the three biggest players in the industry in America. You could sell it to what is called a jobber. A jobber is basically someone that offers you pennies on the dollar for your inventory, but will take everything. You have a $10 million worth of product at retail, they'll give you $900,000 for it, 91% off. They will take possession of the inventory and then arbitrage it. They may sell $200,000 to Burlington, $500,000 to someone else, and God knows where it ends up. So there's no transparency. So it's very, very scary for the best brands in the world to let go to someone that may put it in a channel that could conflict with their full price business, because that's all everyone's trying to protect. And so what we're doing here is like, we're giving full transparency on who the end buyer is. We are also giving them a lot more access to buyers. So we aggregated the supply, and we've also aggregated the buying power. And so one man's trash is another man's treasure. And so like, what people don't realize is that you may have a brand that is completely dead in America and has excess inventory, that someone in Korea wants it, someone in China wants it, in Japan, Middle East, in London, in India, in Africa, in Australia. There's so many markets now because of social media. Basically, the same brands are popular everywhere now. And so people just need access. The one thing that we have done is we've unlocked access. We've democratized access to smaller and mid-sized businesses to get access to the supply. Well, before it was only access to the biggest retailers. And what happened during COVID was the supply was so big that the biggest retailers in the space couldn't take all of it anymore. Before, you call Mary at TJ Maxx and she just buys everything. It's all good. But when Mary says no, what do? You gotta go to call Burlington. You gotta go call Ross. You gotta go call the 7,000 other people, but you don't know them because your job at your company is to focus on the full price business. And so there are very few companies where they have a team that focuses on liquidation. Like Nike has a team, Procter & Gamble has a team. So like they have a little bit more understanding of all the alternate channels. Despite that, your example of Young and Reckless, let's take a brand, we don't work with them. It's public news, On Running. I would argue On Running is one of the hottest brands on earth. Last quarter, they announced publicly they have an inventory issue and they expect margin compression because of their excess inventory. So even them,
got to call Roger Federer, get the intro.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so I think like what people don't realize is, to your point, that even the best brands struggle with it. And they're all looking for alternate solutions of where. Like there are people on Poshmark that do millions of dollars a month. They need supply. Yep. There are people, live streamers in China that do millions of dollars a month. There's power sellers on Amazon and eBay. There's so many places, and all it is access to the supply. And so that is the big unlock of what we do. The other big unlock is we are solving for all the problems I had as a founder. How do I find all the buyers? You know how hard it is to find buyers? We used to pay to sit at a trade show and pray to God someone walked by us. Mm-hmm. That was our business model. Can you imagine? Like that's the trade show business model. I'm going to pay a bunch of money. We're going to sit there, get drunk with a bunch of people, and hope they walk by our booth the next day and they write us an order. That is $1 trillion industry, is retail.
Good parties, though.
What?
Good parties.
Great time. And so what we're trying to do is like, what are the efficiencies there? Like, how do you aggregate the buyers? How do you, for example, you get a purchase order today from a retailer, you're a mega retailer in America. They are asking for 30, 60, or 90 days to pay you.
Yeah.
This entire industry is based on immediate liquidity. If you cannot offer immediate liquidity, then you move on. So we finance that piece. So we're solving for a lot of problems. You don't know how to route goods to a retailer? We've read every routing guide. We can get your goods from any warehouse to any retailer.
Yeah, to explain that, like selling to Macy's or PacSun, there's specific
routing instructions,
strict guidelines.
Yes.
The tag has
pages.
to be has to be here. The barcode has to be here. And it's not just like simple as, hey, calling Macy's. You have to be a accredited vendor.
Yeah.
You have to like go through the process of paperwork that
the amount of the last year and a half, what we've done, which has given us the moat, is we are vendor with basically every major retailer in the world.
So what got me excited when you guys were formulating the business before it even launched was knowing how fragmented this market is and that hundreds of billions of dollars gets transacted in this way.
Yeah.
And I can tell you from personal experience I've spent my entire adulthood in apparel.
Yeah.
I used to go to stairwells in East LA and collect $15,000 in cash.
Yeah.
When we needed money.
Yeah.
Selling denim.
Yeah.
Like that, A, is not very safe.
Yeah.
It's very stupid.
Yeah.
And B, it just seemed, we didn't know any better.
Yeah.
By the way, the industry hasn't evolved much since then.
Because that's still happening.
Yeah.
We're bringing like the when you hear the business, everyone always like, how come no one's done this? You know why? Because everyone's making money. There's no, like, it isn't one of those industries where like needed to be disrupted, right? Like, because everyone was making money. And so all we're doing is bringing way more transparency, which is extremely important to the brands. And
I'll tell you, like, to piggyback on what you just said, the reason why it hasn't been disrupted is a Stanford computer science grad won't know the intricacies of how this whole world works.
Yeah.
It takes 2 decades of being in apparel and being a merchant to understand it, because if you're going, you could do this business as just a cash business, but to do it as a venture-backed business,
very different.
And so one of the really interesting pieces there is the scale. When you think about the volume of products that go into every order, I remember one of our first investors, Equal Ventures, one of their associates, Simran, flew to LA and spent time in one of our partners' warehouses. And she knows our business and knew some of the orders that had been going through our platform. And I walked her through this one hallway in the warehouse that, for as far as the eye could see, it was, dozens of pallets of sweaters. And she looks and she goes, oh, are any of those sweaters that one order to, it was Burlington or someone like that? I go, no, that's all the Burlington order. And she's like, what do you mean? I go, no, the 45 pallets right there, that's the one transaction you saw yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so when you think about compounding the amount of inventory that goes into every single order, being able to then, to your point about the routing guides and the shipping instructions and the freight forwarding and the dock to dock and the insurance and the financing that all goes into every single order, there's so much complexity. And what we're doing is we're removing all of the complications and all of the friction that goes into these purchases to eventually equate to buying the 45 pallets of sweaters with one click. And
like people don't appreciate, like, I'll give you the analogy I like to use is that a lot of Kathys have businesses that sell online. And so think about how easy it is to create a product and sell on the internet today. Like, you could do it within a day. You can sign up for Shopify and someone can buy your shit tomorrow. Like, that's possible. You cannot flip a switch and get into retail. It's impossible. Instead, you go hire a salesperson. Salesperson, jerks you around for 2 years.
Gets a guarantee and commission.
Guarantee, commission, and then they may or may not have those relationships.
Likely aren't very good.
Likely are not very good. And then you hope that they have the skill set to get you into some retailers and get access and get in front of them. With Ghost, you get in front of retailers, snap of a finger. Like, you are in front of retailers. We are like the most powerful sales tool I've ever seen in our industry. Like, people are like shocked sometimes, like what we've done for them. I mean, we've literally moved 1 million unit order, which is like 1 million units in one fucking transaction. It's really crazy.
So you had previously already raised a decent amount of money.
Yeah.
And a year later, you raise a very large sum of money.
Yeah.
So what's the story that not many companies, we have a lot of entrepreneurs that obviously listen, raise as much capital as you have in their entire career.
Yeah.
And they may go their entire career without raising this much capital. What's the confidence that you give an investor where they're like, we want to back you and here's $30 million? That's a large sum of money.
Yeah. So I've been told.
You're rich.
I'm rich.
And especially, the other qualifiers, like in today's environment, right? That's what everybody says. I think if we were to look through the timeline and you think about each stage, the seed round, the big takeaway was founder market fit, right? So you've talked about this. We have 35 years experience in this industry between the two of us. We know this world. We know how to solve the problems. We know the problems ourselves. We've experienced them. And it was founder market fit in the TAM, right? The total addressable market. How big is this, right? Venture in 2021 is looking for big, tens of billions of dollar potential exit, hundreds of billions of dollars in a potential exit. Then the Series A was a moment in time where we had proven that there is appetite for this service, appetite for this product. And what we needed to do was finish what we started, right? So we had early customers, we had real revenue, we had recurring customers, and now it's, all right, great. You've proven that this can work. Now prove that you can make it work. Mm-hmm. What we've been able to do that allowed us to raise that Series B is prove that our customers are having better and better experiences on Ghost and they're coming back. Prove that word of mouth and referral is a sustainable go-to-market strategy. Prove that there's margin in here for us as a business and for our customers, and prove that we can do incredible hiring and team building because Dee and I can't just do this alone.
And what's the expectation post this round from the investors?
It's big. Like, it is the numbers that we are kind of projecting for next year is, put it like this, it's basically 25x of last year's.
25x of total gross merchandise value.
Yes.
Correct. Which is enormous. Yeah, you're telling us. That's why Dee looks like he hasn't slept in a week, and that's how I feel.
And what's funny is everyone's like, are you relieved? And I'm like, absolutely not. I'm fucking so stressed out.
Yeah.
And and it's a good stress because it's exciting. Like, you know, we announced on Monday, my phone is the who's brand of global brands hitting me up now. And I think it was a very important, because I'm very anti-press for the business, because I really just want to build quietly, because I know what we're doing is special. Like, I have no doubt in my mind this thing is going to be the biggest thing. I think what, you know, to Josh's credit, he's like, people still like the public validation. It makes them feel warm and fuzzy. It's like a box checked. Okay, they raised a bunch of money. They're in TechCrunch.
I basically forced him to do the article with TechCrunch. That's why.
Because I was very anti it, and because I just don't want. I don't want, like, if someone said like, oh, I don't want the attention. Obviously, I do this podcast. I have no problem with attention. I love personal attention. But for the business, I'm very protective.
Yeah, because it welcomes competitive threat, and you think, all right, if they're doing it right, maybe we can try to take a little piece of that pie.
Yeah, and if you try to take a piece of the pie, I'll fucking bite your head off. Let me tell you something.
That next question, are there competitors?
There's no one doing, so the competition, Josh always makes a great point. The competition is either you work directly with these people today or you do nothing. Right. There are people we meet that have inventory. If they can't get the price and the right distribution, they do nothing. The competition is actually doing nothing.
And by the way, that's a very dangerous competitor, because it's so easy to ignore this problem.
Mm-hmm. You do it till when it's too late. And the problem is, like, we're having success with high profile brands. That is where high profile retailers, high profile brands. And those folks generally do not have to do anything because they're very profitable and healthy businesses. But the story that we're telling them is, if you do it when you're hot, you'll get a higher recovery rate. If you do it when you're not hot, no one's fucking with you.
Yeah, of course.
And then you're getting pennies
the price
on the
goes
dollar.
down by 80-90% when you're not hot.
Exactly. So liquidate with a very, and thing is like, there's so many alternate channels today, whereas like it doesn't necessarily need to end up at TJ Maxx. It can end up at 1,000 other places around the world that may value your brand differently.
You know, when we were in apparel running brands, like the biggest false statement that I discovered after a handful of years is that manufacturers work on small margin.
Yeah.
Once you uncover it, they're at 60-70% margin.
Everybody's making money.
And they claim it's like, oh, we only have 10-20% margin.
Yeah.
We can't negotiate price.
Yeah.
So that was like a very eye-opening thing, because that was the rule. Everyone just said, oh, manufacturers you have no negotiating power.
But there's like a billion manufacturers.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah.
There was clearly cash being made. When I've watched you guys build this, here's the new false statement that I've heard that I know is bullshit. High-profile brands saying they just burn their excess inventory.
Yeah.
That's the biggest little bullshit I've ever heard.
Well,
if you're a CEO that's burning your excess inventory, you're a bad CEO.
So...
And I won't name the brand because it's a very high-profile brand.
Luxury brands historically have destroyed product. French, Italian luxury brands. It's very publicly known. It is now against the law in the EU to do this. That doesn't mean you can't stick it on a boat to good old Bangladesh and torch it there. And for luxury brands, they actually have the luxury of doing this. They can actually do it. They're so goddamn profitable. They have the margins. And to their point, if you could get a Birkin at TJ Maxx, it's not good for their business. Everyone else, I don't think, and here's the interesting thing. We have sold massive volumes to discount retailers, and very high profile brands. And I will call the brand immediately after. I'm like, did this affect you in any way? Be honest. Did you get blowback? Did you get anything? And no one has ever complained. And what's interesting is take a retailer like TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx is turning, if you ship them 200,000 units tomorrow, they're turning all the 200,000 units in 30 days. 30 days, brick and mortar. They have 10,000 stores. 200,000 units across, there'll be one small, 2 larges in each store, 4 extra large. It'll be gone. It moves so fast. So like, to the point is like, even if you are at a brand that's so high profile that you're like, oh my God, we'd never sell to those stores, it's so quiet and it's so fast. It does not go look in TJ Maxx. Your favorite brand is in there.
Of course.
Saint Laurent is in there. Gucci is in there. These brands sell to these stores. Your favorite brand sells to these discounters.
Yes, I mean it's the exception, not the norm. And I've heard your guys' conversations.
Yeah.
The people that have,
I think they have to say that just to like create a mystique around themselves.
Well, a lot of people still believe it.
and the other big joke in clothing was you're big in Japan when
Yeah.
you have no retailers in the U.S.
Yes. That's
Everyone's
old school.
big in Japan.
Yeah. By the way, we're going to help brands become big in Japan now. We actually are doing it.
We're actually doing it.
But yeah, I think that's so the exciting thing. One of the things I wanted to call out for Kathy's. Look, if you work at one of these big brands, you work at a big retailer, feel free, please reach out. I think we honestly are working with the biggest. And so we're very confident we can work with anyone. The other thing I would say is if you're an entrepreneurial Kathy, I will tell you that building on Ghost might be one of the biggest opportunities I've ever seen in my life.
What does that mean?
Basically, imagine if you could have been a seller on Amazon 20 years ago, a seller. Like you figured out that this marketplace, you could sell anything and you could build history as a successful seller. Like if you have like an ASIN, which is a SKU on Amazon that has thousands of reviews, it's like a real estate piece of real estate. It just does business every single day, right? So it's a very unique position to be in if you were selling widgets on Amazon 20 years ago and then eventually third-party brands. Our industry, we're not rocket scientists here. Like the game I play, like Josh and his side of the team is product engineering, that's different. They're actually rocket scientists. The game that I play, we are hustlers. It is a room full of hustlers. And jokingly, you live in a very nice neighborhood. And you told me you went for
Bleep
a walk.
the city out.
Yeah. I think people know where you live.
Kathy's definitely know where you live.
Yeah,
But
they know.
The Run Club knows for sure.
Yeah, the Run Club knows. And so the point is, you went for a walk one day with your neighbor and you said that everyone in this neighborhood is in the off-price space.
Including my landlord.
Including your landlord is in the off-price space. Why is that? It's because it's an arbitrage industry. That's all it is. Think about how many people, like the trading company of fucking medieval times, there was trading companies. They were buying and selling spices.
yeah.
It's the oldest business, right? It's
Being
like
a merchant.
being a merchant.
Yeah.
Today, because there's so many channels to sell product, you can open up a store. You could sell it on Mercari, Amazon, Mercado Libre. I think there's a bazillion marketplaces. Ghost has the most insane supply. And if you could figure out where to sell it, a different country, a marketplace, and we approve you as a buyer, it's a literally fucking gold mine. And you just have to find the channel that our sellers will approve.
So where do people go?
GHST.io.
And if they're a Kathy, do they get expedited?
Yeah, put in your description, you're a Kathy. And we'll take all the Kathys to the top of the line. And by the way, if you saw the line that just got formed over the last few days.
There's no guarantees.
So since you can't offer a discount, are you going to offer an increased margin for a Kathy listener? This is what we do
For
on the
sellers
pod.
or buyers? For sellers,
I haven't been on the pod in a while. I forgot.
sellers, I'll do a reduced take rate.
good.
Buyers, let's get you approved first. I'll figure out what to do.
And then I have one final question.
Yeah.
Unless you guys want to wrap
Yeah.
up on something else. The biggest question I think Kathy's want to know is, are you now taking your credit card out?
Absolutely not.
Are you traveling with a wallet? Are you paying for meals?
I'll pay if it's a customer.
Funny enough, this came up like a few weeks ago where I forget where we were, probably at the and I don't know if you need to bleep that out or not.
Yeah, you probably do.
But the running joke for years has been that if we ever go to any of the H-Wood spots, that Dee does not bring his wallet, right?
Yeah.
Talk about it on the pod all the time. And a few weeks ago, we had dinner with, I think, our bank. And the check comes and Dee pulls out a wallet. And I was shook. I was like, oh my God. And Dee's like, yeah. He's like, we got this.
Yeah.
And I look at him. I was like, you're bringing your wallet around now? And he goes, well, for
little Series B, Dee get a little cocky.
That's so funny. So the one thing I do want to touch on was the fundraising process. Ultimately, the fund that led the round is a firm called Cathay Innovation, whom
they are incredibly strategic.
Yeah, they're based in Paris, San Francisco, Shanghai. They have offices all over the world. Their investors, if you go on their website, are the most prominent consumer companies in the world. So think L'Oreal, Kering Group, Anta in China, Unilever, and obviously strategically for us, it's insane to be aligned with someone like this firm, Cathay. I don't know what fundraising was like 2-3 years ago. We had a lot.
I could tell you.
Yeah, you just
put a deck and say wire by Monday.
Yeah, exactly, right. And you'd wire. We went through. We were very fortunate. We had in our CRM 85 funds hit us up. No outbound. 85 funds hit us up. The tier one names in the industry, and the amount of first calls, second calls, ICs we had to do, the level of diligence that was being done in this environment was insane. Like, they really, really wanted to dig deep into the business and understand it. And ultimately, why we ended up with Cathay was like, they did the most work, but they actually understood what we were building. Yeah. And they have a memo up on their site if you guys want to read it. Simon Wu is the partner at Cathay, who's actually from Southern California himself. And like him and his kind of partner on the deal, Brian, that he brought on, very thoughtful, like insanely well, like, I don't know. How would you explain it?
Yeah, I would say what we've been very fortunate to have in the entire duration of Ghost's life is investors, our choice of investors for one. So we're very fortunate to have in our seed, in our A, in our B, we've had the option to choose and optimize for who we believed was the best partner at the time. And so we had Nahal from ENIAC and Rick Zullo from Equal in our seed round that were such incredible 0 to 1 investors and helped us understand how to get the business off the ground. We got to choose Rebecca Caden from USV in our Series A, who is one of the foremost minds in this size of a business and being able to scale a business beyond Series A to get to the promised land.
And USV, if you're not in tech, it's Union Square Ventures. The founder's Fred Wilson, who's known as one of the greatest investors in technology.
Their fund is the best performing fund of all time. Their last fund.
Yeah. He's a legend.
Yeah.
And partially and thanks to us, the next fund will be one of the best performing of all time.
Yes, absolutely.
But to get to Simon and Brian and the Cathay team, it was so impressive to us, the depth of our world that they were able to get to and to truly understand how complex this business is and what it takes to bring this business to the next level. And I'll paraphrase another investor of ours that had a really great metaphor where there are many businesses that are a great idea that with great execution, you can get pretty far. We are a jetliner that needs to get off the ground and start flying. And we've just started to do that. But the opportunity is so massive that this is binary, right? Either this is the biggest thing in the retail world or it's not. And so Cathay is the type of business, the type of investors that understand how big this opportunity is and what it takes for us to get there.
Yeah.
Great.
Very exciting. But yes, it was not easy. Process was not easy.
Yeah, I mean,
the amount of phone calls we had to do with investors, meetings, follow-ups, it was, mentally it's taxing. And then, by the way, you still got to hit your numbers every month and run a business.
Still run the business.
Yeah, just to contrast the environment of 21. So me, Anthony, and Naz invest out of Queensbridge Venture Partners. It's our personal vehicle.
Yeah.
It used to be a fund.
Yeah.
we're not nobodies, but we're not the biggest deal in the room.
Yeah.
But people in tech know who Queensbridge is.
Yeah.
I have had multiple calls with founders. They said, I have 15 minutes at 2 p.m. and say, you have to tell me by 6 p.m. if you want to invest.
Yeah.
That's what the environment used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
And
tell you,
tell them
those
all the
people
fuck
can't
up.
get 5 cents now.
It's true.
I mean, we went in there with an incredible amount of humility, and if they wanted to know something, we went and did the work. Like, luckily, we have an incredible team that helped with it. Amy on our team and Charlene on our team. Like, I know I pretend I went to Harvard. Like, it does make a difference if you went to Harvard. These people are so fucking smart.
So they actually went to Harvard.
They actually went to Harvard.
Okay.
And
Do they have the flag in the office? Is
no,
that where it's gone?
you know what people who go to like
Oh, yeah,
Harvard
where did
say?
that flag go?
I went to school in Boston.
I went to school in Boston.
I went to school in Palo Alto.
Oh, yeah,
Same shit.
Philly. I
Yeah.
went to school in Philly. It means you went to Penn. Like, they purposely, if someone says they went to school in Boston, let me tell you, they didn't go to fucking Babson or Boston University. Okay, they went to Harvard.
All right, I don't want to be a part of this conversation. So, perfect segue. One last thing, and then I got to get back to work
Yeah.
because, we got to do something with this Series B. Careers.
Yeah.
Cathy's are a gold mine of very talented
We've hired some
entrepreneurial
Cathy's.
people. We have hired Cathy's. We've seen success with Cathy's. Our website, ghst.io/careers, has every available job description.
I will forewarn you, every job is in Los Angeles. You are in office.
Can you
every
give
single
a
day.
person on the team that they can DM where they know they're going to get a response to? Whether it's a yes or no.
I mean, we check the job board.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like we're very active on it. And I think, yeah, every job is in LA in the office. If you live somewhere else, be prepared to move because we just cannot have remote.
Cool. Congratulations, guys.
Thanks, Anand.
Yeah. Back to work.
Back to work. See ya.
Guys, we have a terrible announcement.
Terrible.
So great interview. Props
Such
to
good
Josh and Dee.
content.
Great job. Unfortunately, with all that money, we can't get a record button. We just recorded half of the rest of the episode. I looked up at the screen to see how long we had been recording. I noticed we weren't recording. I asked Ari, the attorney, if we were
I'm gonna
recording.
sue your ass.
He didn't record any of it.
It's a bad omen for his law school career.
What's
Oh,
interesting
man.
is
One button record.
we do have someone, potentially, training or learning the process to replace him. It's
Ask him if
kind
he
of like
knows where the record button is.
Yeah, Josh, we have a question. Do you know where the record button is?
I do. In
Hired.
fact, no.
Hired. Welcome to the team.
So what's funny is when the new iPhone comes out, the old one stops working.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
just what happened here.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Oh,
Ari's the
that's
iPhone 13. Damn,
Not gonna
Ari's got
lie, we-
glitches.
We had some great content. Drama opened the pod with Ghost Malone.
Ghost
I made
Malone.
a joke.
Good
Good
joke.
joke. He's going to get a face tat now. He's going to drink Bud Light, start smoking
Yeah.
cigs.
Well,
too bad.
that's it.
We'll never
Everyone
know
have a good
about that.
weekend and just know we had a great episode. We'll see you later. Okay, so let's
We're
look.
going to try to recreate the jokes that we had,
Yeah.
which were fire, because we started talking about how India is celebrating being the fourth country to land
It's even
on
funny
the moon.
the second time. It's
Yeah,
funny
so
the
my
second time.
point was AD thinks it's fake. So sure, maybe they rented out the same Burbank soundstage that we did in the 60s.
Yeah.
And
It's not
B,
in Burbank, by the way. It's up Lookout Mountain. Okay, I drove
Oh,
past.
sorry.
Yeah,
Lookout Mountain.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I saw a lot of Indian pride this morning posting how proud they were that India landed on the moon.
Yeah.
And my commentary was like, when have you ever been proud to be the fourth best at anything?
Yeah.
In the Olympics, you have a gold medal, you have a silver medal, and a bronze medal. Where's
Yeah.
the fourth?
Yeah.
But
He's
imagine
not-
if in the,
he or
like,
she's not on stage.
Especially the fourth country to fake being on the moon.
That's
Yeah,
also true.
That's less impressive. Imagine they had the 100-meter dash or whatever, and first, second, third tore across the finish line, and then 50 years later,
Well, in the 100-meter dash, 50 years later, the Indian probably did finish.
That's also true.
and they posted it.
We're very pro India here. We push I push Indian supremacy all day. But fourth ain't cutting it.
Fourth is not good. You should. I mean, like Slumdog Millionaire won Best Picture.
Yeah.
They weren't the fourth best picture.
No, they were first. Yep.
They were first.
deserved-
That's something Indians should be proud of.
Yep. 100%.
So you think Slumdog Millionaire is a bigger accomplishment than
By far.
Okay.
It infiltrated American culture. Indians became cool.
Yeah.
Indians started getting roles in movies and TV shows.
All the CEOs came after Slumdog.
Exactly.
True.
There were no
That's true.
Indian CEOs before Slumdog.
Yep. Trailblazer. Plus, it put the name Millionaire next to Slumdog. It really like elevated your guys' brand.
Yeah.
It's really
What
great.
is elevated in Indian culture that we were the fourth country to land on the moon and potentially not land.
Yeah,
Your Photoshop skills.
By the way,
Your
the
Photoshop
pictures,
skills are
the pictures are very sketch. Like when I think about like if I were going to convince everyone I landed on the moon, I would have such a different story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Like visually, there's like this one picture of perfectly flying flag. Like I would show it raw because we know everyone thinks maybe in India people don't know everything is fake.
Well,
That's
TikTok's banned.
Yes, they don't even know.
That's
They get
true.
brainwashed.
They don't even get the conspiracy theories we
That's
do.
true. So that's what they really are. They're just 50 years behind on propaganda.
Yeah.
We did it
Okay.
50 years ago, and now they're like, oh, we know how this works. You don't have to actually do anything. Just say you did it.
So Indians won't even get to see this TikTok.
They will not.
They
Poor
just hear
guys.
about it.
Poor guys.
They're going to keep believing.
Yeah, we landed. We're maybe in India. They're selling everyone this first.
That's true.
They may
could be
have
first.
saw the first three.
Yeah, they might. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, look, I mean, we love India. We love Indians here on the pod, but we got to keep it real. When you love someone, I think you be honest with them. And
Tough love.
Yes.
the fourth, tough love. The fourth to fake the moon landing just isn't cutting it this week. Let's
It doesn't work.
circle
for us.
back and we'll see what we come up with next week.
And by the way, just like does like the Indian government not like they don't have their pulse on like the zeitgeist where everyone thinks everything is fake?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
Yeah,
they're not
definitely
TikTok.
not.
They don't know.
they don't know
Yeah.
that everything is fake.
Yeah. If they found out, they'd be so much less. They're like, damn, we've been losing for years.
Well-
We've been behind. No, we don't have any of it. We've never
Yeah,
done
we
any
have
of
no
it.
idea. Well, in the previous episode we recorded 14 minutes ago, you were mentioning what was the CIA?
Oh, yeah. There's a video that leaked on Twitter today. It's an old video. He looked like the 80s. And it's a CIA agent saying that he had thousands of journalists on payroll around the world, basically spewing American propaganda. And that was part of his role in the CIA. You have to have a team that runs all the journalists, Rolling Stone, all the major publications. And they painted Cubans as being terrible people to push the anti-communist propaganda so that it's okay if we're at a Cuban Missile Crisis. And you were wondering if we're all wondering if he's alive still. It's an old video.
Yeah.
It's pretty brazen to say all this in a public interview.
Yeah.
And so your point is, why didn't the Indians have a better...
They need,
Need a better PR
Let
strategy.
me tell you something about the CIA that's so impressive. It's probably one of the best marketing agencies of all time.
Think about how many movies in Hollywood
It's
are
the
based
best.
off this.
The brand
just
is
think about
the brand is the United States of America,
yeah.
and
That's
the
my
marketing
point.
department
Yeah.
is the CIA.
Their CIA is literally the agency of record for
Yep.
marketing of the
Yes.
United States. And up until like 3 years ago, I would say we were the Hermes of countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we still are.
Yeah.
We still are as good as it gets. It's
Yes.
just we're having some trouble, but you can't deny. But imagine
You've
if
done
your
a
marketing
fantastic,
department could kill
fine
people.
job.
Imagine how big
Tremendous
your
job.
brand would be.
Tremendous job.
If your marketing department could like shoot planes out of the sky. Look, I just want to say something a little controversial. Maybe I don't want to get into an argument, but I just want to say it is Anand. I would argue,
Okay, here we go.
that the FBI pulling down posts from Twitter, some that have proven to be potentially accurate with our current information, is the same as a CIA agent having a Rolling Stone journalist on payroll. It's still altering the message to get whatever your decided point across is. That's why that was so scary to me.
Yeah, I don't think that's controversial at all.
Okay.
I think
I just didn't know if I was starting an argument with you or not. And your
No.
people,
my people,
Yeah.
The wokes?
Yeah.
Wokey
The
wokes.
wokes, they don't like it. We never talked about the Twitter files. But to me, the modern day all journalism is Twitter or social media. And knowing that there was a direct contact that said, hey, take this down, take this down, take this down, unquestioned it was taken down, is very similar to a modern day version of saying, hey, Rolling Stone, can you write about Cubans being shitty? It's still altering perceptions.
Yeah, when you open up your Twitter account or pretty much any news, you have no idea what you're reading is real or fake. So when you were talking about the Lex Friedman, Elon, that was the old episode? You haven't brought that up?
That was the old episode.
Yeah, the old episode.
Bring that up again.
Okay, so here's another thing we talked about in the last episode is Lex Friedman did an interview with Andrew Huberman, which was very good. I recommend everyone listen to it for total different reasons. Just great combo. But Lex, right before the interview, had just got done doing a jiu-jitsu session with Elon. And he just happened to, they didn't talk about it long, but he just happened to mention like a soundbite about Elon, which is that Elon believes that the most entertaining outcome is the most likely. Almost in a way, it sounded like as like a simulation or like a determinism, like it's going to happen anyways. So you might as well maximize it. So when they were talking about like the fight, and are they really going to have the fight at the Coliseum? And are they really going to, he just simply tries to do the most entertaining thing possible.
Yeah, so when you open up your phone and you start reading news, like for example, in the sports world right now, there's a lot of sports meme accounts that just are totally fake. Butt crack sports is probably
ball sack,
butt crack. There's a bunch of these.
Yeah.
So that's the story I should just be watching, not what actually happened in sports. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, you'll have the most fun.
To your point, if the entertaining outcome is the most likely, then sad to say this video of Yevgeny Prigozhin is real, which is the head of the Wagner Group in Russia. There's a video that just got released that his private plane got shot down.
Yep.
But just like
crashed.
fell out of the sky. Like we don't
And
know.
there's video.
Yeah.
We don't know. We didn't see a missile. We don't know. But
No, there's a missile. You could see it.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Well,
There's a missile attached to the jet engine.
Unfortunately, that is the
Like
most
stuck in
entertaining
it?
outcome.
Yeah, it's definitely clear it got shot down. And there's a couple interesting things about this story. A, just to recap, he tried to coup Putin a month ago, 2 months ago, something
Yeah,
pretty
about 2
recent.
months ago, yeah.
He was 200 miles outside Moscow,
Made a deal.
made a deal with Putin, turned around. Putin waited for the dust to settle and then shot his plane down.
Yeah.
And how brazen it is for Putin to do this, and not only do this, but release the video.
Yeah.
It was in Russia.
Yeah.
That video doesn't have to come out.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I think he has to set a reminder.
Yes.
And that piece of the story of what just happened makes me like feel like that this war is never going to end. He's not
now they
giving
just
up.
got an extra burst of energy because now everyone on Twitter is like, see, Putin, we got to take him down. Putin.
It always amazes me that these guys that are this vicious and just hostile killers are able to stay in power for as long as they have, because they clearly have enemies. They've killed a lot of their enemies.
Yeah.
People want to kill them, but
Yeah.
somehow they're scot-free.
You know, in startup land, as a tech guy now,
Yeah.
they tell you hire fast, fire fast. Putin plays by those rules.
Hire fast.
Except the
murder.
firing is killing.
No, but Xi's the same. He's
Yeah.
emperor for life now.
Yeah.
This guy has so many enemies. He's jailed a lot of his political opponents. He's jailing CEOs.
But they're because they never like step down. That's the key.
And same with MBS.
Because
He jailed 1,000 of his cousins.
I'd like to make another right-wing argument, which I don't think is right-wing. You know what all those places have in common? No freedom of speech, ladies and gentlemen. These
only in goddamn America.
But how does the number 3 not get a little ambitious?
It's a risk. You're playing with fire.
Yeah. But they must be really, really, really like personable. Like imagine a country, try to imagine no social media, no free speech, led by Donald Trump. You could see people being like, I mean, look at how the whole Republican Party fucking went from getting trashed by this guy and battling him in debates and blah, 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 to all just getting right in line.
And he did it in a free speech environment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Imagine if he was in one of these other countries. He'd be thriving.
He would be emperor for life.
Yeah.
He's probably like, fuck, man, how come I can't shoot planes?
He's also
out of
like
this
more
guy?
charismatic than a lot of these guys.
Good jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the charisma wins. If you have charisma and you're absolutely ruthless, I think you can last a long time.
Yeah, he's a career entertainer. He's been on TV for decades.
Yeah.
Well, R.I.P., man. R.I.P. to Coup Barrymore. We lost him.
That joke wasn't in the old episode. That's a new
you're right.
joke.
That one just came to me. Yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Well, I mean, it's just gnarly, man. The fact that this guy, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. But the thing that I think sucks is now, I do think, just my opinion, I think the like, we got to take down Putin energy only leads us to like a very long, very harsh war and potentially nukes. And I kind of felt like maybe we were going to get over that and we were going to not go down that road. But this feels like, from the little I'm reading on social media, everybody is amped up to take down Putin now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. We'll have to see how it all plays out. But this is insane content.
Yeah.
Who Barrymore is incredible.
Good title of the pod.
Yeah. Okay, what else have we not talked about? I mean, we got earnings.
Let's do
stock
Nvidia.
markets.
Yeah, we should talk earnings. We should talk stock market.
Okay, this is all new content. You have entered new episode now.
New. This is our brand new episode today. What's interesting is Nvidia, which is the semiconductor company that particularly makes a GPU chip that is for the AI industry.
So previously, Nvidia had a monopoly on gaming chips, crypto mining, and now AI.
And, basically 6 months ago, the world discovered AI.
Yep.
Like January. I would say OpenAI released their chatbot December. By January was all the buzz. And as all these companies started getting funded, people are like, okay, let's take a layer deep. Like, we know, let's invest in the pipes, the picks and shovels. And it turns out there's only one company.
Correct.
It's Nvidia. They literally have a fucking
One
monopoly.
shovel.
Yeah, there's one shovel, no picks.
Yeah.
And so this Nvidia stock just starts going berserk. It basically carries America on its back. I would say the American stock market is on the back of Nvidia.
So this morning and yesterday, the only news that anyone cared about was Nvidia's earnings, which released right after the bell, right after the fake old episode. And the earnings are staggering.
Fucking bonkers.
Let me just go through some of this.
This
Yes.
bums me out so much because this is a trade like that was kind of
obvious trade.
It was the most
Yeah.
obvious trade. Once Microsoft put the $10 billion into
You knew where it was
OpenAI,
going.
you knew
Yeah.
they needed Nvidia chips.
Yeah.
And it was talked
We were
about pretty
all
openly
idiots.
too. Yeah, we're all idiots.
Yeah.
So revenue of $13.5 billion, up 101% year over year. Adjusted earnings up 429% year over year.
Wait, so just to make that clear, they did $13.5 billion in revenue, $6.19 billion of profit.
And they're guiding for the next quarter, because the last time the stock popped last quarter is because they revised their guidance so high.
Yeah.
And now they're revising their guidance again another quarter later, 28% above. So what this tells you is that research analysts and the banks have no idea what the actual demand is from all these companies.
Yeah.
I was listening to an investor on a podcast talking about how they decided to go long Nvidia because they had a private investing side and a public investing side. And the question was, how do you use the private market to help you invest in the public market? So the head of the private market, who's looking at all these AI companies, was seeing that these startups went from we need $10 million worth of GPUs to $100 million worth of GPUs
So it is
year
added
over
up.
year.
Yeah.
So like, oh, I'm a genius. Let's go long Nvidia. Do
Yeah.
you know how many people made a fortune just going long Nvidia? Plain sight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we fucked up. That was an easy one.
It was so obvious. I mean, at your birthday, your friends are like, yeah, just buy Nvidia.
They all said that
Yeah.
at Amanda's birthday.
Yeah. I mean, at Amanda's
Yeah.
birthday. Yeah.
And that was March of this year. You still would have made a fortune.
Fortune. It was the easiest.
And the whole lunch was AI, right? You got really
Big
upset.
AI,
You
big
got really
AI.
upset at that lunch.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to talk about AI at lunch. It's gross.
That's not proper.
Yeah.
Rule number 1: forks facing
The
the right
stock
way.
is up
Rule number 2: don't talk about AI.
250% year to date.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, we fucked up. There isn't even really there wasn't really any risk even. Like the risk is it only goes up 10%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a pretty risk-free, high upside bet.
I love it.
Fuck.
I love it.
Okay, well, hey, here we go. I just want to name some losers. Nike, Foot Locker, Peloton just keeps getting beating a dead horse over here.
He should be a billionaire. He never even needed a Series B if he just listened to his own advice and shorted
I know.
Peloton.
I know, you could have been your own Series B.
Peloton shares drop another 30% after basically missing on everything, right? They actually beat on sales expectations, but they're still losing. They lost $240 million on $640 million in revenue. It's, unfortunately, the unit and economics of this business does not work.
Just shut it down.
Just shut it down.
Yeah, I mean, I think the challenge is it's a really tough ship to turn around because of just the economics of the business at this point. I obviously was very right on this,
Mm-hmm.
extremely right.
Yeah.
I would say
That
I'm
was,
right on this one.
Yeah, you were ultra right. And I want to give you proper credit because I think when you were calling this out, it was
All-time high.
the hot new product. Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason, look, everything is
You're like
coming
Michael
into
Burry.
fruition.
You're
Yeah,
like the Michael
even
Burry of
I said the big bike. That'd be
Yeah.
my movie.
yeah.
I'm the Michael Burry of Peloton.
Except for your nothing changed. At the end of the movie, Michael Burry's has billions of dollars.
I just predicted it, and he made $60 shorting Peloton.
That's so good.
But I think instead of the strippers part and Big Short, mine is everyone's just using it as a coat rack.
How about
Yeah. You go into a friend's
How about
house and you
using
see
it
it in
as
the
a coat
bathroom.
rack?
here's
Yeah.
the best trade would have been long Ozempic, short Peloton.
Well, I think that's ultimately what you realize in the fitness. If you're betting on fitness in America, you will lose. You should bet on the drug that makes you skinny.
Yes.
Oh, all day.
Yeah.
No one wants to work out.
No. There's an article. We'll talk about in the next pod. What's the company Nova? With the company that created Ozempic?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. They're like a Danish company.
It stocks on fire.
The country, the city is changing because of this, of how much business and money is being generated. It's a fascinating article. We'll talk about it next episode. But the bigger kind of theme that you're seeing with a lot of retail stocks announce their earnings, and Macy's, Foot Locker, Nike, all these companies are clearly showing, and Peloton too, there is softness in consumer spend.
Didn't Macy's and Dick's warn too?
Yeah, Dick's warned too. And I think you could really do a lot of good headlines. Dick's soft.
Yeah, soft for dicks.
Soft Dick.
Soft.
Yeah. Dick's 30% smaller than last year. Dicks don't hit expectations. Oh man, we should make our own little. We could have our own little. What's it called? Ball sack sports or whatever. We could have. Not Abercrombie though.
Yeah. So, consumer, if you are doing what you did last year, the consumer is soft because they're not resonating. Abercrombie reports earnings, absolutely crushes revenue, crushes profit, so much more profitable than they used to be. And that just tells you that there is a consumer that's willing to spend, but you got to put some effort now.
Yeah.
Before, you did not have to put the effort. And I think that's the climate change we're seeing, is that like, you really have to like, you have to try really hard to get the customer's attention now. And that's tough. That's not easy. And I think that's going to be what separates a lot of these consumer facing businesses from their peers. Like, you got to innovate. Like, if you're a Macy's, you got to figure out how to make your business more exciting to ride out this storm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because by the way,
Yeah,
TJ Maxx and Ross, they reported great record earnings, stocks up at 52-week high. So people are spending. You just have to give them a reason to spend.
Yeah, the way that I see it is like, it used to be a game of like real estate and shelf space.
Yeah.
Because you just went to the mall, or you went to, and whoever had the stores, you know, you could kind of gain ground there as long as you were making good stuff, where now you have to compete with the whole internet, with Shein, with anything you can get on Amazon, on Alibaba, what's hot on social media, what's like, it's just, you can't just sit on your real estate and expect to.
I mean, check this out. Abercrombie expected revenue of $842 million for the quarter. It came in at $935 million. They did damn near $100 million more than expected. This is like the Nvidia of retail.
Yeah.
Insane.
I mean, yeah, you go Ozempic, hit up Abercrombie.
Yeah, you're
buy a
skinny now.
couple
You can wear
chips.
Abercrombie.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
We should
that was
go
the quick-
long. Here's a good trade: long oceanfront property. That's not a genius idea, but if everyone's skinny, everyone's gonna be at the beach.
Okay.
Just buy
Yeah,
a
what are
hot
the
dog
downstream
stand at the
effects?
beach.
Hot dog stand at the beach, you're chilling.
Yeah, because they still can't break the old habits. Got a new body, same old habits.
I think you could still eat while you're on Ozempic.
I think you just
It
you have
does-
less of an appetite.
Yeah, just eat one hot dog, and that's 6.
I think Oprah, like, didn't Oprah just lose a bunch of weight mysteriously?
Charles Barkley lost 70 pounds on Mounjaro, or however you say that one.
Mounjaro, yeah.
I mean, it's just funny because you just see randomly these celebrities like
Michael Rubin, he talks about it publicly. He's ripped.
I'll see people that I don't pay attention to, and then I'll be like, damn, they lost a lot of weight. Like celebrities.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just going to see randomly, all of a sudden, people are skinny as shit. You know what? Good. Hopefully in the background, there's not some weird data coming in over at the Ozempic offices and they're pulling an old Sackler and, hitting the paper shredder.
Yeah.
Look, if this thing's relatively low risk.
But here's the thing. It does. The positive is we know for a fact if you lose weight, you do,
Yeah, your comorbidities go down.
yes, you have a lower risk
less
of
of heart disease,
Yeah.
diabetes, all this
all
stuff.
those other things.
Because the doctors we know that are prescribing it are saying it's way worse to be fat than whatever the side effects are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's a
And
good
so
point.
that's
just
basically
quality
the
of
trade-off.
life, And I have
Yeah,
to
of
believe,
course.
like, if you like your life more, you can play with your kids, you play with your dog.
The energy level, yeah.
Yeah, you
You don't miss the Nvidia trade.
Yeah.
No, you're fucking
You have all this energy,
sharp.
you're just like,
you're
boom,
laser
Nvidia.
sharp. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're rich.
Yeah.
All because of this one little pill. Well, I know someone asked if they could advertise on here or something similar. So there you go. There's your advertisement. You guys want to wrap up winners, losers content?
Yeah.
Dee, who's your winner of the last week?
Putin.
Putin. I mean, that's fair. On paper,
Yeah, I mean, he got everyone's attention. And because he is a nuclear power, what are you really going to do?
Nothing.
Hey, what
You
happened to
can't do
Epstein?
anything.
He might not have fallen out of the sky, but someone took care of him. So, not saying we don't do the same. I'm just saying, I saw a clip on TikTok the other day of Anthony Weiner being questioned by Patrick Bet-David about the Hillary Clinton death list. There's like a list, if you look it up online, of like all the people close to the Clintons who have died.
Yeah.
And it was pretty wild. And
You
he
know
was
who's
really
getting
pissed.
dragged in conspiracy land is the Obamas. They
yeah.
seemed they were like kind of beyond the conspiracy land. In the last 3 months, TikTok is absolutely nuts.
The death of that chef it's not good.
TikTok thinks that Michelle is a transgender named Big Mike.
And that Obama's gay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're just murking people out on paddleboards. It's what it went left real quick. It was like when they go low, we go high, and then just fucking. They went
You know
as
what? Michelle
low as you can
Obama
go.
did not anticipate that you could go way lower.
Yeah, that was child's play. Anand, who's your winner?
My winner is as a product of Ghost, the LA startup environment. This is our backyard. They just raised a lot of money from high profile funds, and your employees, if they leave, maybe they start companies that get funded.
Yeah.
And I think it just helps the city we live in to have great companies and talent that comes here. You said you're only hiring in Los Angeles, so more smart people come to Los Angeles, get high paying jobs from Mr. Credit Card D. And I think it's good for
I've
the
got
startup
three.
ecosystem.
I've gotten three Harvard kids to move to LA.
There you go.
There you go. Look at you helping out the LA economy.
Yeah. They're going to have little Harvard babies.
Yeah, smart little babies running around LA. They're going to go to Delilah. They're going to help out that.
All of a sudden, Delilah has smart people because we know that's not happening right now.
Yep. Winner. I'm going to go full fight for my winners and losers. My winner is Sean O'Malley. I don't know if you guys saw. He had an incredible knockout. He's the
Is that
colorful
the
hair.
guy with the purple hair?
Yep.
I saw
People
that.
are
Beat
saying he's
shit
the
out of that
next
guy.
Conor McGregor.
Wow.
He's a superstar. Highest gate at Boston at the Garden other than 1 year of the playoffs, I think.
Wow.
And just wasn't expected to win, whatever. Huge thing. So breakout star, Sean O'Malley. Keep an eye on him.
What's your take on Dylan Dennis?
I love his content.
Dylan
I
Dennis,
don't know
love
what
his
he
content.
does.
Yeah, I'm going
What
to
is
tie
he?
that into my loser. I mean, he's going to lose. He's going to get the shit beat out of him, I think. But
What's his background? All I know is
Jiu-jitsu.
Khabib tried to beat him up.
Yeah.
And then now Dylan and Logan are on this social media war.
Yeah, his rise to any notoriety was because he was Conor McGregor's jiu-jitsu coach.
Got it.
So he's talented at jiu-jitsu. He knows it really well. He could teach it really well. He didn't have a good fight career. Khabib attacked him because it was him and Conor mainly talking shit to him. And but I just don't see. I mean, Logan's just too big and juiced up and ready to fight. I don't know. I don't think Logan's anywhere near as good of a boxer as Jake is, and that's not saying much. But I just think I don't see how Dylan Dennis wins that.
As an observer of social media, and it's obviously not my demo, being that Logan and Dennis kind of attract a younger demographic than my age.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in, it looks like Logan's catching an L here. Not from he's going to lose the match, just from the social media antics.
Yep.
He seems like he's finally been pierced.
Yeah, that was going to be my loser of the week. I think the timing was really bad because Logan has been kind of dodging some bad accusations and stuff, like that he scammed people with his NFT project and he this and he that. And he's just a bad guy. But he kind of stayed just above, everyone really turning on him. And I just think this guy, Dylan Dennis, incredible content, but he is just no
He's
rules. Relentless every day. And people are just kind of rallying around yeah, you know what? Fuck that guy. And I just don't think it's worth it, man. I don't know what he makes on this fight, but I think he's going to lose more in the future.
Wow.
I think it's really bad.
I think so too. And I saw the press conference. We don't need to repeat it. People can go look at it on TikTok. Pretty bad.
Is this?
Yeah.
It was a clown
watch
show.
it.
It was so bad.
No, but what Dylan was saying to Logan's face.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, even Logan's
entertaining
responses.
That
and
is
stuff.
the most entertaining outcome.
Everything's entertaining.
Yeah, someone's got to get knocked out. I don't know. I don't see it being very.
And doesn't even sound like his
exciting.
brother Jake likes him.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. He just did a podcast saying he hit his breaking point and he can't fuck with him anymore. Weird
Gotta
relationship
keep
those
your
guys have.
Ohio brothers together. Trump.
I know. I wish I could. So who's your guys' loser? That was my loser. Dee, who's your loser?
My loser is Rudy Giuliani. He got arrested and booked today for involvement in the Georgia Trump kind of campaign shenanigans. Rudy Giuliani during 9/11 was heralded a hero. He's like a notorious, powerful attorney in New York City that fought like against the mafia, and like he was an iconic, positive.
He cleaned up crime in New York City.
He was an incredible mayor while his time in New York City, and he was beloved. Now he's a clown show. He's basically Logan Paul.
Yes.
Yeah, and he, I didn't realize until I watched Painkiller, he was one of the Sackler attorneys.
Yeah.
This guy's a piece of shit, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he fucked up. He could have, like, after 9/11,
sailed off into the sunset. He was done. He had he ruined his legacy.
He's likely going to jail.
Yeah. And he's old as fuck.
So if we're doing the most entertaining outcome is the right outcome, or is it the right or is it the actual outcome?
Most likely.
Most likely. Trump's president.
Trump's president, Trump's in jail. Which is
the best entertainment.
Yeah.
Most likely.
I think jail escapes, presidency escapes jail and just goes on a 4-year Dylan Dennis shit talking spree.
Yeah.
That's the most entertaining.
And we got 0% interest rates.
Yeah. 0% interest rates. Everything's ripping. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. My losers in talking of interest rates is the real estate environment. I've been talking about this for a while. So one of my best friends has been in real estate investing, private equity for the last 20 years. And he's been telling me this for 6 months, that for real estate investors, not the regular economy, he said this is significantly worse than 2008.
Wow.
And he said, in my career, I've never seen anything like it. Like, there's just not capital available for any of these projects to get refinanced because interest rates are too high and you have long-term debt on these projects. And his explanation was like, I actually don't know what's going to happen because we've never had a zero interest rate environment where everything was priced for over 12 years. And then all of a sudden the rates are now 6%.
And they're not coming down.
And they're not coming down for the foreseeable future. They may come down to 4.
Yeah, but they're not coming
down to 0.
Yeah.
So all these projects are underwater.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. What happens here, man? It just feels to me like there's a chain reaction that I'm not saying.
I saw something today that $800 billion of office value is probably getting destroyed. Seems like a big number.
Huge.
Seems pretty high. Seems pretty huge. Donnie will fix it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
0 interest rates, party's back on. Who cares? Let the next guy clean it up. You only got 4 years anyway. It's actually a good model. Like, you fuck shit up, but you get the quick fix. Then you're out of office and you get to talk shit about the new guy and be like, well, I was in. Yeah. That's great. Content. D, you got content recommendations?
Yeah. It is the opening weekend of my favorite sport, college football.
Oh, I got one. I got one that's going to go. I'm so surprised you didn't pick this, and I might shock you with my recommendation. Keep going.
And my content's probably what your content is.
Yep.
Is it Johnny fucking football?
No, that's last week.
That's last week, bro. Get with the times.
But yeah, I just I am obsessed with college football, and I'm obsessed when we have the best team in the country.
Yep.
Which is USC, and we take on San Jose State.
We'll probably win by 50.
We'll win by 50. Just destroy them. If
they let Caleb play all 4 quarters, we win by 80.
I don't think they will.
Yeah, he's going to be out by the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, whatever. But I'm so excited for this football season. Like, so excited.
Best receivers, best quarterback.
Best everything.
Yep.
If we take care of this little pesky little crime issue, LA is back.
Yeah.
Ghost is hiring. USC is winning.
Lakers look good.
Austin Reeves.
Okay.
By the way, it looks like quickly, happy birthday, Kobe. And it looks like whatever the fruition. I know Nike kind of was at odds with Vanessa Bryant, it sounded like, and then they came to a deal, but they're starting to release like shoes and things again. Pretty exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
My content is the Florida Gators documentary on Netflix. Okay. The Untold Swamp Stories. I'm on episode 2.
I didn't start yet. I'm starting this weekend.
That's where Josh was. Josh, undergrad at Florida during that time, was friends with all those guys.
Friends with all those guys. And the preview to the documentary, there's 4 episodes. Tim Tebow, American hero.
Yeah.
This is pretty powerful. He opens up episode 2. It's not a real spoiler. He said, when my first ever childhood baseball team, and he's like, I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And he names whatever Mustangs or whatever. The coach gives a speech and says, we just want to have fun. Everyone enjoy your time. And he goes, fun? I want to win.
Yeah.
This sucks. I'm not trying to have fun.
Yeah.
And then that's how they open episode 2.
That's
Oh,
cool.
that's good.
Yeah. Fuck.
It's
fun.
so well done. The Johnny Football one was so good. Then they follow it up with this one. I mean,
Yeah, this one, they're like a racing police reports of players so they can play on Saturday. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
yeah,
I love the lengths that we do to protect college football athletes. They're, to me, like, the last hope we have for America.
Yep.
Football. We got AI chips and football.
Yeah,
It's also the only
murderers
thing
on
that's
that
like
team.
uniquely ours, you know?
Yeah, that's basically it. College football. And professional football.
Okay, good stuff. That was mine too. That's all we got. We got a shout out?
Yeah, we have a shout out from Haley
Haley.
to Kinsley, fiance.
Kinsley.
Well, hopefully it's not my Haley. That's not good.
This might be the announcement.
Live on air.
Live on air.
I love
She must not heard about the Series B.
She was like, the valuation is what I expected. Love to do a shout out for my fiance Kinsley. She's a kick-ass mom, goes in above and beyond for our community, and I'm so happy we met 5 years ago. I'm proud of you for going back to finish up your BA and excited to see what our future holds. You supported me in pursuing so many of my dreams. Don't forget, I'm always here as you journey on your own. Side note, remember, the group chat gang will always keep you awake when the music fails. From experience. Love, Haley. I love these like thoughtful shout outs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wonder what's
Lots of
happening
kind
there.
people.
Like, is this person taking long drives and needing to stay awake?
Yeah, maybe.
Wake up!
Maybe.
Kinsley!
Wake up, Kinsley.
Hey, if you're asleep, you become president.
I mean, maybe she's a UPS driver and she's rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, would you just say if you're sleepy, you might be able to become president? Damn, bro. You're doing your woke on woke violence over here. That's it?
Yep.
All right. Hell of an episode. We just did 2 episodes. And they were both great. You'll never hear the first one.
Yeah. The
Hope you like the second one.
Lost
CIA.
tapes. Lost
The CIA
tapes.
lost tapes. Hope everyone has a great rest of your week. Hope you have a great weekend. Peace out. No intro.
Peace.
No intro life.
See you later.